Talent can get you noticed, but greatness, that takes responsibility. And right now, Zion Williamson is standing at the most important crossroads of his career. For 6 long years, he's teased the NBA world with flashes of brilliance, but every season seemed to end the same way. Another injury, another headline about best shape of his life, and another wave of disappointment for New Orleans. But this time, things feel different. Because when Zion walked into the Pelicans' 2025 Media Day, he didn't just look better, he looked like a completely new human being. Fans compared him to Captain America walking out of the super soldier chamber. He weighed in at 264 pounds, the lightest he's been since before Duke, after reports that he'd once ballooned up to 330. The question now isn't just whether Zion finally fixed his body. The question is whether this transformation could reshape the entire Western Conference or ruin his career in the process. To understand why this transformation is so shocking, you have to rewind to 2019, when Zion entered the league as the most hyped prospect since LeBron James. A 285-pound freight train with guard speed and jaw-dropping athleticism. He wasn't just a number 1 pick, he was supposed to be a franchise savior, and at first, it looked like destiny. But the story of Zion's career quickly became a cycle of hope and heartbreak. In 2021, he showed up slimmer at training camp, only for a foot injury to sideline him the entire season. 0 games played. In 2022, another round of Zion is in great shape headlines. This time, he managed just 29 games. In 2023, he finally broke through with 70 appearances, averaging dominant numbers. But when the Pelicans needed him in the postseason, a hamstring injury sent him back to the bench. And in 2024, same story. Showed up looking solid, then lasted only 30 games before a back injury ended his year in March. For Pelicans fans, it was like being in a toxic relationship. Every year came the promises, "I've changed. This time will be different." And every year they got their hearts broken again. So when Zion walked into Media Day in 2025, fans could be forgiven for rolling their eyes. But the truth, nobody had ever seen him look like this before. September 23, 2025. The Pelicans' Media Day looked like routine preseason business until Zion stepped to the podium. Cameras flashed, jaws dropped, and the NBA world instantly exploded. This wasn't the typical slim Zion story we'd heard before. His face was sharper, his arms leaner, muscles cut instead of bulky. He moved differently, posture straighter, stride lighter. He didn't look like a football player forced into basketball anymore. He looked like a track star, a fighter, an entirely reimagined athlete. ESPN reported his weight at 264 pounds, down 20 from his draft combine, and potentially 60+ from his heaviest moments in New Orleans. To put that in perspective, LeBron James has played much of his career around that exact number. And then came the rumors. People joked about Ozempic. Others speculated about extreme dieting, but multiple insiders confirmed something far more serious. This wasn't a fad. This was a 6-month overhaul of Zion's entire lifestyle, backed by science. So how did this happen? 2 words: accountability and science. When Joe Dumars joined the Pelicans front office, he made it clear, no more excuses. Zion would be held responsible for his conditioning, his leadership, and his availability. And for the first time, Zion seemed to buy in completely. Reports revealed a new personal chef crafting every meal, a team of sports scientists tracking sleep, hydration, and body composition, advanced recovery methods usually reserved for Olympic athletes, boxing, field work, unorthodox workouts that reignited his competitive edge. Even Zion admitted it felt like being back at Duke, fresh, energized, alive. He told reporters, "It feels good to feel good. I haven't felt like this since college," but it wasn't just physical. This time, the Pelicans also brought in sports psychologists. Zion wasn't just reshaping his body, he was reshaping his mindset. For years, his raw talent let him coast. In high school and college, he was bigger and stronger than anyone else. In the NBA, he still put up absurd numbers when he played, but now he finally understood. Greatness requires consistency, and consistency requires discipline. Of course, not everyone is celebrating, because what made Zion special wasn't just his athleticism, it was the freakish combination of size and speed. A 285-pound wrecking ball who moved like a guard was a cheat code. Defenders bounced off him like rag dolls. At 264 pounds, that dynamic changes. Can he still bully Joel Embiid? Can he overpower Jokic in the paint? Can he survive the punishment from Giannis? The intimidation factor that came with his bulk might be gone. And then there's the biomechanics. Sports scientists warn that when athletes shed massive amounts of weight, their muscles and tendons face new stress points. Movements that felt natural before suddenly feel foreign. Knees, ankles, and backs, all areas Zion has struggled with, could react unpredictably. So while fans are celebrating the new physique, the lingering question is, did Zion slim down into peak performance or into a new set of problems? But let's flip the perspective. What if this is the version of Zion that finally unlocks his full potential? Imagine a lighter, quicker Zion running the floor, switching onto guards, playing 35 minutes without looking winded. Imagine him sliding to center in a small ball lineup, terrorizing defenses with speed and explosiveness while taking less pounding on his knees. Reports even suggest he's been working tirelessly on his jumper. If that's true, Zion at 264 with a reliable shot isn't just a dominant forward, he's a complete weapon. Inside, outside, transition, defense, there would be no weakness left. This is where the Ben Simmons comparison comes in. Simmons was supposed to be that positionless, all-around nightmare. Zion could actually become it, what Simmons promised, but never delivered. And the timing could not be more critical. Zion isn't just playing for pride this season, he's playing for his future. The Pelicans gave him a 5-year extension worth up to $231 million. Yet he's played fewer than half of his possible games, and he's never stepped foot in a real playoff game. That's not just disappointing, it's franchise-altering. Meanwhile, New Orleans has gone all in. They traded for DeJounte Murray, brought in Jordan Poole, and sacrificed draft capital for win-now moves. If this year fails, they don't have the flexibility to rebuild easily. And the Western Conference, it's a battlefield. Wemby and the Spurs look like a dynasty in the making. The Thunder already feel unstoppable. The Lakers and Warriors refuse to fade. The Nuggets remain elite, and Houston just added Kevin Durant. There's no margin for error. If Zion doesn't finally stay healthy and dominant, the Pelicans could collapse under the weight of their own gambles. Which brings us to the whispers nobody in New Orleans wants to hear: trade rumors. Multiple insiders have said it outright. If Zion can't deliver this season, the Pelicans may have no choice but to explore moving him. The idea sounds insane, trading away one of the most gifted players in basketball. But after years of injuries, broken trust, and missed opportunities, the franchise might finally hit its breaking point. And can you imagine the possibilities? Zion in Miami, under the Heat's legendary conditioning program. Zion in San Antonio, learning discipline under Popovich while playing next to Wembanyama. Zion in Golden State, reinventing his career as the Warriors' next small ball center. It sounds far-fetched now, but if this season goes wrong, don't be shocked if those rumors turn into reality. So where does this all go from here? The truth is, the first few weeks of the 2025 to 2026 season will reveal everything. Can Zion handle back-to-backs at his new weight? Can he finish through contact like before? Can he maintain energy and discipline for an 82-game grind? Because weight loss isn't the hard part. Maintaining it through travel, late-night road trips, exhausting schedules, that's where responsibility shows up. As Joe Dumars put it, you can be talented without responsibility. But you can't be great for Zion. Greatness isn't about highlight dunks anymore. It's about showing up night after night, season after season. It's about proving that his transformation wasn't just a headline. It was the start of a new era. Zion Williamson has missed more games than he's played. He's been the in the best shape of his life guy, too many times to count. But today, at 25 years old, he's lighter than ever, sharper than ever, and, for the first time, looks like he's finally taking his career seriously. The Pelicans need him. The league is watching him. And the fans. They're desperate to believe, one more time, this isn't just about a player losing weight. This is about a player confronting his legacy. If Zion can stay healthy, the Pelicans might have stumbled into the perfect modern team: versatile, positionless, terrifying. If not, we may be watching the final chapter of Zion in New Orleans. So the question remains, is this the rebirth of a superstar or the beginning of the end?